Hi guys, today's short video is on a condition called Wilson's disease. We'll talk a little bit about what it is, how it presents, how we diagnose it, and of course how to manage it as well. So Wilson's disease is a condition where we have an excess amount of copper that accumulates in the body and therefore it's deposited in different organs. It's an autosomal recessive genetic condition, which means that you need to have two defective genes to have the condition. In terms of understanding the disease, it's important to know a bit about what happens with copper metabolism in the body. So we get copper from our diet, it goes into our body, it's absorbed at the proximal small intestine, and then when it gets to the liver hepatocytes, it binds onto the ceruloplasmin and it's excreted in your bile. And in Wilson's disease, the process whereby the copper it joins on to the ceruloplasmin in the liver hepatocytes and its excretion in the bile is impaired. And so we start to get an accumulation of copper in the body, and therefore we get an array of different signs and symptoms depending on where that copper goes on to deposit in the body. So in terms of how does it present, well, it will vary. So children tend to present with liver features, so things like liver failure, cirrhosis, and hepatitis. These are the classic features that you'll find in children, whereas in adults, especially younger adults, they tend to get central nervous system signs, and I like to remember the 5 Ds, so it's easier for you to remember. So for example, you've got dysarthria, dyskinesia, dystonia, dementia and dysphagia, and they're the 5 Ds, but also other Parkinson-like symptoms because the basal ganglia is also affected, so things like tremors and ataxia is also noted. And you can get neuropsychiatric complications, so depression, mania, loss of libido, psychosis. So these are things that we should be mindful of when we're dealing with these cases. A classic examination feature and something which is tested in practical exams and in written exams and something you'll see clinically is what we call Kaiser-Fleischer rings around the iris. And we've included a picture on our Instagram and Twitter pages today. The links are attached to this post, so do have a look so you know what a Kaiser-Fleischer ring looks like. In terms of the diagnosis of the condition, key things to remember, or rather 3 things, I'd like to say 3 things that you should remember. The first thing is that the serum copper level will be low, the serum ceruloplasmin level will be low, but the 24-hour urinary copper excretion will be high. And in terms of the management of the condition, step 1 is diet, so you need to get the patient to reduce the amount of copper in their diet. So for example, copper-rich foods would include things like chocolates, nuts, legumes, mushrooms, shellfish. And the second step is copper chelation therapy, and a drug that's classically used for this is penicillamine, and this basically allows all of that excess copper to be excreted from your body in your urine. And in severe cases where there's severe liver disease, then patients are reviewed for a liver transplant. And of course the 4th step as well is to be mindful of screening, especially for first degree relatives, and this is something which genetic teams will talk about with the patient and the family. I hope that was useful. That was an overview of Wilson's disease. We have a lot more videos, learning cards, interactive whiteboards and free exam questions as well. So have a look at our website and have a look at the links attached to this post. And we'll be back with some more revision material very soon.